Happy accidents. I feel like if you constantly try and make things happen, if you constantly make moves, and this applies to life, this doesn't just apply to art. If you constantly keep trying to do something, or you keep trying to just make something happen, what happens is things start to happen. And artistically, when you're using colours, using new brushes, you're doing all these different things that you don't usually do, and you don't give up. Every time it doesn't seem like it's going to be great, you don't give up. What happens is you quite often than not get something different, or you learn a new technique. And this has been not just artistically, but this has been human history in general. The first people that made soups, or the first people that put certain food groups together, vegetables on the same plate as meats, and these things were all experimented, all experimentational processes that kind of we went through. Same with art. I'm saying that because this piece was completely random. I was testing out some blending brushes, and it just became an image. It just became something that I thought, okay, we'll finish this off. And I don't think I did it all in one sitting, because I don't really do things in one sitting anymore. I just don't seem to have the attention span or the time. I think there's always a demand to do something else, which is reasonably problematic, but it's not so bad. But this was definitely something that I saw as an opportunity to create something finished-ish. I say that loosely because finished can mean a lot of different things to other people. For me, I just felt like it was a finished speed painting. It wasn't a finished illustration. It doesn't have all that detail and depth that one of my finished illustrations would have. But it's a finished speed painting for what it was supposed to be. And it became this green girl riding on top of this kind of robotical creature. And I might even, bring it into one of my storylines, because it's a cool character design. The colors are cool, She's like a green girl with braids, so she's like afro. She's like an afro green girl, I guess. And she's riding on top of this kind of like sharp-headed robot, And I have a storyline that has stuff like this in it, so maybe I'll add her, as I said. But it just became its own thing, and that would not have happened if I wasn't just experimenting with brushes and colours. And I urge people to do this, because then you end up with results that you didn't expect. Half the battle is trying to create things that we do expect, but then on the flip side of that, there's a bunch of stuff that we don't expect that we can create. So it's always important to try and do both. It's always important to try and make sure we understand that there's part of us that wants to create, completely and utterly, overtly, and create exactly what we think we want. And there's part of us that just has skills and has had practice and has built up skills to be able to create other things. So that's how I look at the situation. So it's always good to just get out and start creating stuff. It's always good to just go and make the choice to put some paint on the canvas. It's not always the best idea to just try and do all your pieces this way, though. If you've got a piece that requires you to have a direction, I've said this plenty of times, it's always better to have a sketch and an idea and some line work and stuff like that, and even a colour key to go from. But sometimes it's fantastic just to get out and put some paint on the canvas and see what you can create with all the experience and practice that you do have built up, because that's also a massive thing. Now, if you're just beginning, this might be more difficult. But if you're someone who has drawn for years, I think this is probably one of the things that you probably just do regularly anyway. So, and that's how I kind of look at that situation. But even if you are a beginner, maybe get some references and just do this, just throw some paint down and use the references to guide you, you know, and see where you get with this process, and see how far you can go with it, and see if you create something that you can say, I wouldn't have done that if I didn't just go in and experiment, you know? So in closing, just get some paint on the canvas, experiment with different things, maybe change a character's skin tone, maybe draw a rhinoceros if you've never drawn one, maybe just do a sky painting, you know, of the sky, maybe from your imagination, maybe use some references too, but alter those clouds and just get some paint on the canvas, you know, maybe do a sky that's orange or something like that. But anyway guys, that is enough for this video. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, share if you want to, it helps me get off the ground, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.